Loud.
Get off my lawn!
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. We got a show for you. I'm Donald W. Moore. I started Get Off My Lawn Records over a year ago now.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah. And we're just trying to make good music.
Yes.
And we do this podcast.
Yep.
And this podcast, we talk about the kind of music we're doing a bit, but we do other things. Like, the next section's going to be, you're going to give a science lesson.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
I should probably correct that on the screen before we do that. I got Digital Performer running. This is how the sausage gets made, everybody. Let's fire up Keynote. So, while I'm firing up Keynote, who the bleep are you?
I would be your wife. I would be Carissa. And I would be desperately in need of a nap right now.
Yeah, we're both pretty tired. It's a pretty big week. We have a pretty long weekend.
It's a very long weekend.
We're going to talk about why it's a long weekend in our fourth section. That's the announcements, the goals, and the giveaway. But we're still trying to figure out with YouTube, like, can we do a giveaway? But
Is that what they were objecting to? The giveaway part?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's okay. We have a download code available to snag.
Nobody used it.
Nobody used it last week. Let's not talk about that in the future.
Okay.
We have a download card available. Welcome to the train wreck. So, Get Off My Lawn Records. It's really a podcast that I kind of, even though we started this about a year ago, we started this podcast in September? October. And that's really when we started doing the label in earnest. Like, the label's always been in my mind, right? I've always kind of thought of myself as a record label and then branded it a couple of different ways and things. But I'm a record label, right? So, so I've been doing this since high school, really, making records for other people.
Yeah.
It's just, I've stopped trying to charge. I don't think that's the right way to make a record in 2017. So we got that coming. Our third section this week, because we're going out of order,
of course,
is we're going to talk about our 10 albums from our childhood. Last week we did the 10 records from our teens.
Yes. That
changed our lives. Now we'll do our childhood, since you have quite a few.
Yes.
After the announcements, goals, and giveaway, we have our shout-outs. Those are my favorite. I love that part of the show. I totally did not update the board this week, so I'm going to have to do my shout-outs from memory. And I've just been super, super busy. We'll go through what's going on.
Okay.
And then section 6, I hope for anybody who's watching this who is also trying to make records, I'm going to go into why I'm pretty upset with the whole sub-industry, like the sub-genre of videos that is mix tutorials. And I don't watch them. I just came across one, and I'm just really upset about this really terrible piece of advice that was given.
Yes.
So that's who the bleep we are. That's the show. And then our last section is always everybody gets a trophy. Right?
Trophy.
It's a lot of fun. So section 2.
Section 2.
This started as our news and notes, our tids and bits, our clickbait.
Yes. Glad you finally admit it.
It just wasn't happening. So we're trying something different. This is the third week of this. We're doing Carissa Explains It All.
Yes.
So
because Dawn has no originality, and if any of you can think of a better title, please help us out.
What do you got against the title? Anyway, so here's the phone. You're going to drive Keynote with the phone.
I'm driving Keynote. Okay. Well.
There you go. Swipe right. Okay.
What would you know about swiping right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that's a thing. Isn't it left is you don't want the...
I don't know.
Who knows?
You and I were already married when that came out.
That's true. How long have we been married? 9 years? 8 years?
8.5.
Yeah.
It'll be 9 in June.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't ask me left or right. I have no idea.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's right. I have single friends, but I haven't been single in a long time. Yeah. Because we didn't exactly, like, meet and get married. We dated for a while, and then we were engaged for a long time, and then, yeah. That's how you do it.
And that's why it cracks me up whenever your single friends come to town and want you to take them out to meet women.
Yeah,
so I'm like, you have no clue. You've been with me the entire time we've lived here.
Admittedly, like, I'm more in touch with that particular segment of society because of Teen Mom. So watch for the hat if you watch Teen Mom.
Yes.
And the shades. Well, not these shades. We left the Ray-Bans downstairs.
Yes.
Yeah, these were given to me a long time ago. So relativity.
Okay, relativity. So there's 2 parts to relativity.
Well, what is relativity? That's the Albert Einstein E = mc squared?
Well, that's why it's more confusing than that. They're both Einstein.
Okay.
But it's basically 2 parts. There's special relativity, which applies to elementary particles.
Slow down and talk to the audience. Special relativity. It applies to elementary particles and their interactions, describing all their physical phenomena except gravity. Really, we have a hard stop at 6:30. We have 55 minutes left.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
Okay. So there's special relativity, and then there's general relativity, which explains the law of gravitation and its relation to other forces of nature.
Right.
So,
I don't get it.
Very young Einstein. So special relativity came first.
Don't mind me. I'm just making sci-fi noises.
You're going to get something thrown at your head.
Yeah, I know. Keep going.
Okay, so it was originally proposed in 1905 by Albert Einstein in the paper on the electrodynamics of moving bodies. It's based on 2 postulates. 1, the laws of physics are identical in all inertial systems. And then 2, the speed of light in a vacuum is the same for all observers, regardless of the motion of the light source.
So, what? I was playing with my theremin. Did you guys understand that? Leave me a comment below. All right.
Okay. 1, the laws of physics do not change.
Yeah, okay.
2, the speed of light is always the speed of light in a vacuum.
Fair enough.
Okay? Doesn't matter where you are or if the light source is moving, it's always the same.
But those 2 things could, in theory, be wrong. Because these are the constants, right? These are the things that are required to be true in order for all this to work.
Yeah.
We're living in a simulation. Keep going.
Okay, so the consequences of special relativity. So the first one is relativity of simultaneity. 2 events, simultaneous to one another, may not be simultaneous for another observer if the observers are in relative motion. So,
What? Okay, listen. You're going to teach high school kids.
Okay, so you've got observer A and observer B.
Okay.
Now the colored lines, the green, the red, and the blue.
I thought we said we were okay. Keep going. Could do dashes and dots.
No, I couldn't have. So those all occur at the same time. They're all simultaneous.
Okay.
But based on the position of the observers, only the green appears to be simultaneous to both of them at the same time. It only appears to occur to both of them at the same time. The others do not.
I'm going back to playing with my theremin. Keep going.
Okay. So then, second one is time dilation. So moving clocks are measured to move more slowly than an observer's stationary clock.
Yeah, I knew that.
So astronauts age more slowly in space.
Right, and if you take a watch out, and really even if you take a watch up on an airplane, if you fly long enough, your watch will be off.
Yes.
Even if it's a digital watch.
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. So then you got length contraction, in which objects are measured to be shortened in the direction that they are moving with respect to the observer.
Less words, more pictures. Keep going.
Then the mass energy equivalence, which is the E = mc squared, which is what we talked about last week. Maximum speed is finite. No physical object, message, or field line can travel faster than the speed of light in a vacuum. So speed of light in the vacuum is pretty much the limit of how fast anything can move.
Though haven't they been able to get things to move a little faster than the speed of light? Keep going.
Yeah, that one's still a little up in the air. That one might be changing at some point. And then the effective gravity can only travel through space at the speed of light, not faster or instantaneously.
Fair enough. Yep.
Okay. So that's special relativity.
So like if mass appeared out of nowhere, it would take the speed of light to even start affecting its other things around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then general relativity was the theory of gravitation developed by Einstein between 1907 and 1915.
Wasn't that his sister?
What?
I'm pretty sure there's been a thing over the years that Albert Einstein actually, that his sister did a lot of the research.
Okay, I found nothing on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Leave a comment below. Let's point it out. All right, keep
Are
going.
you starting a conspiracy theory?
No.
Okay.
I read this somewhere. I mean, it might have been InfoWars. I don't know. Keep going.
Breitbart is not a real news source, dear.
I don't read Breitbart.
So general relativity begins with the equivalence principle. The state of accelerated motion and being at rest in a gravitational field are physically identical. Then you've got the free fall and inertial motion, in which an object is falling because that's how objects move when no force is exerted on them instead of being due to gravity. You look so confused. Okay.
I'm pretty confused.
Okay. So that last one, the free fall, is incompatible with classical mechanics and special relativity. So inertially moving objects cannot accelerate with respect to one another, but objects in free fall do.
Okay, we're going to teach you Final Cut or something. You're going to have to, like, visualize this stuff.
Well, keep in mind that these particular two subjects are usually taught as a full semester class at college.
Keep going.
So I'm trying to condense them, okay?
All right. I'm just going to accept that what you're saying is always true.
Okay.
For once.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a first.
Yep.
To resolve this, Einstein proposed that space-time is curved.
It's curved.
It's curved. And he explains this with the Einstein field equations, which relate the curvature of space-time with mass, energy, and any momentum with it. Now, just explaining the field equations would easily take at least an hour. So we're not going to cover those because, yeah, math.
I swear next time I'll actually record the theremin. I'm relying on the microphones. I don't know how well that's picking up. I might have to turn this up. Keep going.
Okay, so consequences of general relativity. First one is gravitational time dilation. Clocks run slower in deeper gravitational wells. So,
is that why you perceive yourself as accelerating as you enter a black hole? Or as you fall?
Not quite. Okay. Think of space-time like a trampoline.
Okay.
And then...
But a trampoline is two-dimensional. See, keep going. We don't want to say...
Think of space-time as a trampoline, the surface of a trampoline.
Okay.
Then, the Earth or the sun or whatever.
You have it visualized here on screen.
Right. Is basically a bowling ball.
Okay.
Now, this visual comes in handy for the rest of this as well. So, how the trampoline bends is the curvature of space-time.
Okay.
Due to mass. Okay?
Sure.
So then, orbits precess in a way unexpected by Newton's theory of gravity, which precession is the way, like, a planet rotates on its axis, and, like, how the axis tilts. So, they're actually noticing this with Mercury.
Okay.
And there's been some very subtle changes over time that are explained by general relativity.
Yes.
Yes, hi, Pumpkin.
He's Studio Cat.
Yeah.
Hashtag Studio Cat.
Hashtag Studio Cat.
And we had hashtag Regal Cat earlier.
Yeah, she's still here.
She is.
Okay, so this is that. Then rays of light bend in the presence of a gravitational field.
Yeah.
So that's gravitational lensing, which we've talked about the last 2 weeks.
Which you can totally do in your home.
Sure.
You can make light bend in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You take a piece of paper, take a thick cardstock, you cut a slit, very thin slit, run light through it. I think if you put 2 of them, it'll do all sorts of patterns and stuff. Very neat.
I was thinking more of Einstein's cross, which it's a quasar on the other side of a galaxy. And so the way the light bends, you actually see 4 quasars instead of 1 around this galaxy.
Yeah, I want to be able to let people try this at home. All right.
Okay. So we'll keep moving.
So we know the universe is expanding at an accelerating rate.
Yes.
Which makes no sense. We talked about that last time.
More math.
Yeah.
A lot more math. And rotating masses drag along the space-time around them, which is called frame dragging. So they've actually proven this one with Gravity Probe B, which they put into space in 2004.
Yeah.
And were able to actually test this and confirm it. So
Your microphone is super hot for some reason.
why is my microphone super hot? What'd you do?
I don't know.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Okay. And so, yeah, that is
That's
relativity in a nutshell. Which,
So
you
the
know,
fact
like
that-
I said, it's usually like a semester-long class. So,
But that doesn't explain how mass and energy change into each other.
I've explained that before.
Okay. What's next? Next is section 3, which is we're going to do 10 albums from our childhood. So you want to start? It looks like you actually made a list.
Yes, I actually made a list, because otherwise I'd never remember them. Okay, first on my list is Pet Sounds.
Brian Wilson.
Brian
gotta-
Wilson, the Beach Boys.
Not everybody knows.
So, I got my first copy of Pet Sounds on cassette when I was 9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that blew my mind.
Fair enough. All right, so my first would have to be Michael Jackson's Bad.
Okay.
First album I ever bought for myself.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was just had a profound impact. I listened to the snot out of that record. I transcribed every note.
Really?
Yep.
How old are you?
Well, I mean, I continued to listen to it.
Okay.
But, yeah, I learned I knew that album inside and out probably by the age of 9.
Okay.
Which was before I could play. When they taught us in school, I didn't initially understand that, I could play anything I wanted on the trombone.
Mm-hmm.
They told me a thing to play. They said, play this note. And I play the note. So it wasn't until I got into it for a long time did I realize, I can listen to things and play it. But yeah, I would still learn things note for note, very detailed.
Okay.
All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to go with Graceland.
Damn it, that's my number 2. So that's our number 2.
That was our number 2.
This is why we're married.
Paul Simon's Graceland.
My father owned this on 2. I remember he had it on 2 different formats.
Okay.
We had a cassette of it. Listened to it constantly in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he later bought it on CD.
Okay.
I now own it on vinyl. So I have a CD of it. I don't have a cassette of it, though I'm getting into cassette, but not from a collector standpoint. Is that Thunder?
I think that may be Thunder.
Oh, we got to go play Mozart's tonight. All right, let's keep it rolling. Hopefully we don't lose power.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So that's 2. What's 3?
That's 2. 3, I'm going to go with the best of Herman's Hermits.
Fair enough. I never...
That
sounds like your dad.
No, that was Mom.
Oh, okay.
Mom had that on vinyl, and starting about 3rd grade, I was allowed to listen to her vinyl collection, and yeah, that was really my introduction to the British invasion.
Yeah. My number 3 would be Queen's Greatest Hits, the red one. Where's that Best of Queen? It's red. It was a 2 CD thing. It was like Volume 1, Volume 2. It was red and green. But I only ever really listened to the red much as a kid. But I listened to that just nonstop. Started with, We Will Rock You. Then goes into We Are the Champions. And then the third is Another One Bites the Dust. It's like the best of ever made. Keep going.
Okay. So, number 4 is what we're at?
Yeah.
Number 4, we're going to go with Some Girls by the Rolling Stones.
Fair enough. It's a good album.
It's a very good album.
Rolling Stones are great. My number 4 would have to be the best of, I think it's actually the best of Harry Nilsson, or Harry Nilsson's greatest hits. It's a black CD. I have a copy somewhere. Harry Nilsson. Just, my dad loved Harry Nilsson, and for good reason. All right, what's your number 5?
Number 5 is going to be Inagata Devita by Iron Butterfly.
Awesome. This is kind of why you're awesome.
End of 6th grade, I was 12. We moved houses, and I finally got to see my dad's record collection. Up until this point, we lived in a house where Dad literally kept his stereo and all of his records and CDs locked in a closet. Like, we're talking, you had to have the key to get into it.
Yeah.
So we moved, and it all came out in the open, and I finally got to see his record collection, and I picked up this album, and I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's Inagata Devita. And I'm like, what's Inagata Devita? And so he put it on for me, and I remember just sitting there. We didn't even have furniture in the living room. It was literally the cabinet with the stereo, and that was about it.
That sounds like your dad. We're setting up the stereo first. Yeah, I would do the same.
And I just remember sitting there, like on the little ledge from the entryway down in the living room, and just listening to this album, going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. What are we on, 6?
I think so.
Was that 5?
Either
way, mine is the best of the Bee
5.
Gees.
Okay.
There's like a Bee Gees greatest hits that's like disco hits and stuff. This was pre what's his name? Andy? Was Andy the first one to go?
I don't remember.
But this was back when all the brothers were together, and they were just kind of like this Australian boy band, for lack of a better way of putting it. But God, those songs were really good. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so next one's what, 6?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You got your list.
Oh, my list is not numbered. Well, so 6 for me would be Sgt. Pepper.
It's a good one. It's my Beatles album. I didn't have a ton of exposure to the Beatles. Mm-hmm. My parents didn't really listen to the Beatles. So I didn't listen to it till later, though my personal favorite's Rubber Soul.
Yeah, but I think Sgt. Pepper was just the first one I got my hands on.
Well, and as a kid, you'd be like, "Oh, look at that! That's quite the cover."
Yeah,
like that's
that too.
That's quite the cover. Yeah, mine would have to be probably Mark Cohen. I think it's actually Walking in Memphis. I forget the actual name of it.
Okay.
It's the one with Mark Walking in Memphis on it. I listen to that one a lot. In fact, that's one of those albums, like, my dad still has his copy. Mm-hmm. So, like, about a year ago, I ordered it on Amazon for, like, $5. This is the great thing about it. Amazon's got all sorts of old CDs for, like, $5. Yep. And it's really great because it's, like, I can find stuff that I listened to as a kid. But some of the stuff's still like $12, $15. It's kind of nuts. CD pricing's all over the place. We charge $10 for a CD because I think that's a fair price. Yeah. Now, once I do the online, we're gonna have to calculate what shipping is gonna be, what the envelope's gonna cost, and what the fuel to get to the post office. Mm-hmm. But it's probably because I think shipping might be as much as $2.50 on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we'll find out. We'll find out, but yeah, I mean, ours will be a little spendy, but that's why we have the $5 download cards and we sell online. All right, what's your next one?
Okay, so 7, 8, 9, and 10
Okay.
were all when I was 12, due to finally having access to my dad's CD collection.
Right.
So that summer I kind of went a little nuts and hit everything. So we've got Are You Experienced?
It's a great one.
We've got The Doors' LA Woman.
Yep.
I
I think I bought a reissue of that on vinyl. I think I got one of those in the other room.
Cream's Disraeli Gears.
Desirelli.
Desirelli Gears?
Yeah.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes.
Okay. I've never actually heard it pronounced.
We actually have an original pressing of that one.
Do we?
Yep.
How did I not know this?
I don't want you listening to it. We don't have a nice turntable. Like, the turntable we have isn't super nice. I don't want to tear up the vinyl.
Okay. And then the last one was Jefferson Airplane's Surrealistic Pillow.
Didn't we go see Jefferson Airplane somewhere?
We saw Jefferson Starship.
Oh, somebody just Snapchatted me. We have Snapchat. You can totally Snapchat me. It's Get Off My Lawn Reco. Yeah, so my 7, 8, 9, or my 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
I gotta do 4? Christ. Yeah, all right. Portishead's first album, of which the name I forget, was given to my father on one side of a cassette.
Okay.
And we were driving in the car and we listened to it, and it was totally out of character for my dad. He didn't know, I don't think he liked that album so much, but we were listening to it, and that big hit with the big snare drum roll on it. I was sitting in the car. I'm in the passenger seat in the car that I later learned to drive on. We were going down the Taconic, and I said, "Hey, that snare is too loud." And that's how we got to this. So
it's Portishead's fault, huh?
We can blame Portishead to an extent. John Prine, Lost Dogs and Mixed Blessings.
Okay.
That one was that was the first like folk that wasn't from the 60s that I had heard, which was pretty cool. Raffi, Evergreen, Everblue.
One more.
Well, I want to talk. We met Raffi.
You met Raffi.
I had lunch with Raffi.
I did not meet Raffi.
In college, I had lunch with. Why didn't you come?
Because there were only like 6 of you allowed. It was very small, first come, first serve kind of. This was not a big thing. This was a very, very small meet and greet.
Yeah.
And I think I had class.
I totally went. I had a great big old burger with Raffi. It was great. And then 10, Simon and Garfunkel's Greatest Hits.
Okay.
And really, that's like number 1. That one was the thing I pulled out of the attic. My parents really weren't that musical. The vinyl was in a box in the attic. I bought a record player in a garage sale and dug around the attic and dredged up a box of vinyl. And in the vinyl is like Queen, ABBA, Simon and Garfunkel, maybe the Eagles. Like, this is the music that was around my house. And Simon and Garfunkel was just the bee's knees. I just loved every cut of that whole thing. It was one of the first things that was one of the early things I learned how to play on guitar. Uh-huh. Because I actually got a book. I got the transcription. I think I still have it, where it's every song off of that album transcribed for acoustic guitar. Did I talk about Pulp Fiction soundtrack on the last one?
I don't remember.
Leave a comment.
Come on.
If I'm doubling this up. I don't know if I actually. Pulp Fiction was really the first thing I ever transcribed, like on a guitar, right? Michael Jackson Bad was the one where I learned to listen to all the detail. Uh-huh. But I actually transcribed note for note every surf cut off of the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. Every one of them. I can do it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, those are our 10.
Yep.
What were your 10? Leave a comment, and you've been here this long. Why haven't you subscribed? Make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, tell a friend. Help a friend subscribe. We put a video out every day. All right, what's next? So that was our 3. 4 is our announcements, goals, and a giveaway. We have a lot of announcements. We're busy as all get out right now.
We are.
We really, really are. We just recorded Jomo and the Possum Posse live at the Highball.
Yes.
And it was so much fun.
It really was.
It was so much fun. They put on such a good show.
They were actually going to be my first shout-out tonight.
Are they your first?
They are my first shout-out. That was such a good show.
They don't...
Oh, my God.
We really don't shout... We shout out things that aren't part of the label. Now they're part of the label, so now we're going to talk about them every week. Yeah, they're a little nervous, as everybody is after they get done with the process. The second one we have... So that was Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, we're recording Sounds in Between.
Okay.
And I just had a rehearsal with them. I'll be playing a little bass. I will probably turn the hoodie inside out for their video. Because it's, when I'm playing bass for them, it's not the Dawn show. And this hoodie is totally black on the inside. So
it's totally the Dawn show on the outside.
It really is. So I'm gonna play bass on a couple cuts of that tomorrow. We're gonna record that to tape on the machine behind you. That is a big machine. Yeah. We also shoot with a bunch of cameras. It occurred to me I have all the cameras in this room for the first time. We shoot this podcast with one because I need this to be easy. Uh-huh. But everything else I do for the label is like obnoxiously high quality. It's why I don't spend a ton of time doing this. I'd rather just get the content out.
Yeah.
So Sounds in Between is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Teddy's going to come play drums.
Okay.
And Teddy's awesome. He was on a bunch of the Freeform Fridays. So speaking of the Best of Freeform Fridays 2016, it's about time to release it. So I may prep a release date between now and the next podcast. I have this 3-week lull after we get done with Sunday, where we have to. So I might actually drop that album and then begin the test pressings. We talked about it last week. We are ready to start printing. I think finally.
Yeah, once we set up the printer.
Yeah, now it's all about setup because we got all of the things we needed, right? Because now we can do tapes too. I just bought a bunch of tapes.
Yes.
So I've got enough tape for the next year.
Yes.
I got a box of 100 tapes, and I source them from Missouri. Uh-huh. So they're made in America, and I might use some of these tapes. I might wind up having to buy more. Are you just so happy? Yeah, say hi to Studio Cat. So I might buy more tapes if I wind up doing limited runs. Like we got Best of Freeform Fridays coming for 2016. But I'm probably going to do limited runs of We Are Living in the Age of Neo-Feudalism to tape.
Okay. So
now I have the raw materials. They're 60-minute tapes. And now we have the raw J cards and the raw labels for those as well. So we'll be able to manufacture those. The Jazz Destroyers Live is still available. Still have download cards available. I'm playing Mozart's tonight, but this goes up Sunday.
Yep.
So that doesn't help. But we'll be at Mozart's again on the 18th of February.
And then you're playing Cafe Creme on the 17th.
Right. So Cafe Creme's going to be February 17th. That's going to be a big show.
That is going to be a big show.
There's posters. We left the posters downstairs.
Posters are up here.
Here, Studio Cat, go down. We did posters. Hi. So that's this. So we're gonna have Paul Serrato join us on. He's coming down. He lives in Omaha now, but he spent most of his time. He really came up in New York, and was there up until just a couple years ago. I mean, the guy used to handle Charles Mingus's bass. Isn't that just the coolest thing?
That's pretty cool.
So he's gonna come down. And so on the 17th, we're going to go play Cafe Creme.
Yes.
We're going to do a live Freeform Fridays recording session. So you can actually come and see Freeform Fridays get made if you're in Austin.
You can be part of the audience.
You can come be part of the audience. You can yell. something weird. Wasn't that Jomo's thing? Yeah, on Jomo's thing, he's like, well, yell something weird, and then on your deathbed. It's great. I'm looking forward to putting that up. He's really got better stage presence than I do. So we got that coming. And then the 18th, we're doing Mozart's. And then either the 18th during the day or the 19th or both, we're going to record a bunch of stuff with Paul.
Yeah.
Basically, like I told Paul, like we're going to play and record and play and record, and we're just going to have a good time.
Yep.
And because we're both musicians, right? Like we'll do the touristy thing for like a half day, but really, like I'm bringing in all of my friends to learn from the master, if you will.
Yeah.
And we're going to make some really interesting music while he's here, and we're going to put it out.
Yes.
So I'm really excited. So that's that. The week after that, we're recording WD-41 with Willie and Dave. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's going to be the simplest album from our perspective.
Are we recording that here?
Yeah, we'll just cut it here.
Okay.
We'll cut it to tape, and it's going to be great. It'll be very low stress for everybody.
Oh, I can hope.
Because like tomorrow's gonna be high stress because I'm joining.
Yes.
And I don't have a photographer, so we're gonna have static cameras for those. Mm-hmm. Steven's otherwise booked, and I think Brenda's out of town.
Okay.
But we could use if anybody knows any photographers that want to work on a not a spec, like send them I'll leave a card. I think I'm the card leaver this week. I'll leave a card for sustainable music. I do like to bring photographers in on the project, and then they're treated as an equal member of the project.
Okay.
Financially.
Yeah.
So we got that going. What else are we missing? Millicent Hughes will be in May.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna ping her and find out where she's at in the process.
Okay.
And then Sounds in Between. Or no, Sounds in Between I talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading this off the board and I didn't update the board. Finally, Your Name Here. So we're kind of busy out through May.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, I will probably have to cease taking on I probably can't take on new projects before May at this point.
Okay. That's probably a good thing because I've seen your calendar.
Yeah, I'm probably about booked up for May because I gig.
Yeah, through May. Yeah.
I gig through May, and I gotta do a ton of work right on these because we don't just record audio. I can knock off like Jomo's record will be done next week, and then it'll just be a question of which ones do you want to put on the CD.
Yeah.
But the video. Is what takes me forever,
right? Because
I have a backlog. It's really more intensive. I'm pretty good at cranking out albums, but it's the videos that really kick my butt. But Your Name Here, we'll have some time at the end of the year, in the second half.
Yes,
we're gonna have openings. So if I've talked to you and you're watching this, and you're ready to commit to a deadline, and you're ready to set recording dates, ping me. And if not, have somebody reach out. I'll have a listen. If it all works, it'll make sense. Yep. We do this so that we don't have to worry about not really how many we'll sell, but really my bigger thing is like, are you gigging?
Yeah.
Gigging is my big qualifier these days because of the way we do the contract. Like, if you're not out gigging, then why do all the gigging bands have to bring your CD?
Right.
You know, but that's how we're going to do this for everybody. We're basically creating little stores, and we're going to bring them out. So we have to create the last announcement is we're going to create little cardboard or road case stores. Get Off My Lawn Records stores. That'll be about the size of a little suitcase that we can drop in, set up, and go. And then I'll probably do a larger display for when I can actually send a merch person out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our announcements. Our goals. I'd like to get to 175 subscribers.
What are we at now?
173.
Okay.
We had a big growth spurt there, which is awesome. Welcome to all the new people. You guys are great.
Yes, thank you.
But the growth spurt's over, and now it's time to get back to work.
Yep.
And so just let's see if we can't share this with a couple people, you know? So that's our goals. The giveaway. Go ahead with the card. I'm pretty sure nobody took it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure nobody claimed it last week.
So that is the card?
Yeah, so this is the card. This is a copy of the Jazz Destroyers Live. It's number 4 of 100. And the download code is Lima 5 Whiskey Alpha Tango Umbrella dash Echo Charlie Victor. What's H?
Hotel
Mike Sierra. Okay? You go to cdbaby.com/redeem, punch that code in, and it's yours. And I should, in theory, get a notification when somebody's actually redeemed one of these.
Okay.
If this doesn't work, if you try this and it doesn't work, leave a comment on this video letting me know that you tried it and it didn't work, and I'll get in touch privately. We'll get you a different download code. So there we go. All right, what's next? That would be our shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
So my first shout-out's to Joshua Thompson. I totally had to skip his birthday party because...
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, Josh.
Sorry, I had to rehearse, and then the location where the rehearsal and the party were, it was supposed to be pretty close, then it got moved farther away, and we just had to get back here and do this show. We're actually on a time crunch. We only have about 15 minutes. We're going to have to wrap the show up. I think we're going to skip section 6.
Oh, you can go on a rant in 5 minutes. I know
You want me to do a 5-minute? Okay.
You can totally
I'll do a 5-minute. So that's Josh. So Josh is the best. He's been on a bunch of the Freeform Fridays.
Yes.
And I think he's not talking about what age he just turned. I saw that.
We all saw that.
My second shout out is Jim Haywood.
Who is Jim Haywood?
He created the Synth Memes group, which I'm totally breaking the first rule of Synth Memes by talking about Synth Memes, apparently.
Synth Memes is Fight Club? What?
Basically. It went a little overboard with Kai Dan. The guy's a human being, and he's demonstrating a project. He's not making a record.
Sure.
And there was a lot of jokes about how he was playing. So that's my second. What are your first two?
Well,
or give me all three.
Well, my first one was Jomo and the Possum Posse.
Heck yeah.
Because that was just an awesome show the other night.
It was, and Big Poppy.
And Big Poppy, yes.
He's got this big gun. He pops a T-shirt out of it. Goes about 4 feet. It's hilarious.
Awesome. This thing was like 7 feet long. The T-shirt goes 4 feet.
And it makes the dumbest noise. He's so right. It's like... Whoop.
So that was awesome. Second shout out was to the women's marchers today.
Yes, we try not to get political on the podcast.
But, we're talking not just around the country, but around the world.
Yep.
Women were marching in solidarity, and that was just awesome.
Yes. So. I do want to point out, because, I have all kinds of friends.
And there were plenty of men involved, too. I am aware of that.
Right, but I have all kinds of friends with very differing political views.
Yes.
And, I respect a differing political view.
Sure.
But I do want to remind everybody about negativity bias.
Okay.
Right? I think I talked about it last week with the Farrah Abraham thing.
Yes.
Right? Video got 100,000 views, 1,000 likes, 100 comments, and it felt like everybody, like the vast majority, hated her because of all the nasty comments, when really it's a very vocal minority, right?
Uh-huh.
What happens with these protesters and the rioters, there's a difference. A lot of times usually the police will just send somebody in to go start trouble, because the way a large group of people works is once violence starts, it just kind of keeps going.
Sure.
So if they can start a fist fight, then what happens, it kind of turns into that bar fight thing. So they do that. That's how some of the riots get started. But also, there are people who just want to watch the world burn, and they're vandals and they are rioters. And I don't agree with that behavior, but they are the vast minority.
Yes.
They are such, to equate the people that throw rocks through Starbucks with all protesters is like equating KKK members with Christianity. It's about that same ratio. Every KKK member is going to assume is going to claim Christianity, but not every Christian's a KKK member.
Sure.
Thank God. But that's the point I'm trying to make. They're focusing on the violence because that's what the media does.
Yeah.
But it is not representative of everybody there, not by a long shot. So just keep that. Just remember that. Know that you meet one nasty person, you're going to think all people are nasty. So that was your third?
That was my second.
What's your third?
Girl Scout cookies.
Yes! I had it's like a gingerbread, it's like a shortbread with a layer of chocolate on the bottom.
The s'mores.
No, it's called something else.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Do you
It was
want me to get
pretty
one of those?
I'm down with that. Wait, did you get Girl Scout cookies? Are there Girl Scout cookies downstairs and I don't know? I didn't get this big on accident. Where are my Girl Scout cookies?
I have not bought the Girl Scout cookies yet.
Okay.
I didn't have cash on me, so...
Yeah,
So Monday I will probably be buying Girl Scout cookies.
With my money.
With my money.
Fair enough.
If you want Girl Scout cookies, you better fork over your money.
We have the theremin. So my third shout out always is to the Get Off My Lawn Records family.
Yes.
We added 5 new members. Well, I haven't actually added them, but they're contractually now members of the family.
Oh, okay.
So we got 5. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this Jomo and the Possum Posse.
Yes.
The album sounds good. I've pulled all the video down. I've transcoded it to the right formats for Final Cut to want to talk to it. Damn you, AVHD CD, or whatever the hell that is. And I've listened to the audio once, and not completely. I just went through to put like, hey, this is where the songs start. But it's a pretty good groundwork. It's a digital album, so we're not going to do tapes of it. We will do CDs. And yeah, there's a lot of good fundamental groundwork there to work with, but it's going to require a mix, and that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
So I told them, give me a week.
Okay.
All right. So that's our shout outs. Our 6th section. What's next, right?
Your
Number
rant.
6. Do I have it, or should we just do?
It's 6:02. You have time for your rant.
Okay. So there's a lot of things I watch on YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm a big Jared Polin fan. I like Jared Polin. Frono's Photo, right? And I'm a big Pat the NES Punk fan. I love the CU podcast. I love Lazy Game Reviews. I love a lot of things. I love educational content.
Yes.
Like Jared Polin does that, and he's pretty good at it. But I came across a video where it was a guy trying to teach somebody how to mix. Trying to teach the audience how to mix. And it was like mixedbetternow.com or some...
Really?
Yeah. So there's apparently a cottage... I guess there's always been a cottage industry of this. But screw that guy. He was giving really bad advice. And I think I'm going to have to do... a mix tutorial video myself just to like... point out that y'all are overthinking this. A mix does not need to be complex.
No.
The reason I mix analog whenever I can is because literally I have an EQ section, it works. I have faders, they come up and down. I can go left, right, I can send it to 4 different things, and I can patch in inserts if I really want. I normally don't do any of that. Normally I'm just balancing and calling it a day. If the source is good... Yes. You don't have to stress about this. People get too hung up on the mix. Like, the mix should be good. You just need to be able to hear everything. Like, once everything is audible, then the rest is artistic decision. Yes. And I make artistic decisions with my mixes all the time, but you can always hear everything. Mm-hmm. That's all you're trying to do with a mix. The rest is just making decisions that are like, don't get too hung up on it. All that matters is output. But quit watching these terrible tutorial videos where they're telling you to put stuff on the 2-bus before you even mix, before you even like throw a fader up. The guy's sitting there going, oh, and I put this plug in and this plug in and this plug in on my 2-bus just to really get it to glue together. You know what makes a thing glue together? Recording it properly. Having a cohesive musical idea helps it glue together. So we're going to do a mix tutorial video, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, but really, like, just don't put stuff on your tube bus. For everybody who's not initiated, the tube bus is this fader here. This is my overall volume. Every microphone that gets plugged in up here comes through all of this and through basically this red slider, and then comes out into the speakers. Right? I'm oversimplifying, but what they're recommending doing before you even like listen to anything is to add a bunch of effects right here. And every plugin degrades your audio just a little bit. It's a degradation. So if you're going for like hyper stylized pop art, sure. But if you're going for something that'll stand
if you're
approaching
going for something listenable.
Yeah. Do that again, test.
If you're doing something listenable.
See, now all of a sudden you're quiet again.
What? Am I on a cord?
I don't know what's going on. Maybe the audio's bunked this week. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
So we're just trying to figure this out, right? Everybody is on YouTube going, how do I mix better? Here's how you mix better. You listen.
Yes.
Can you hear everything? Okay. Guys get really hung up on like, doing carving out and things. You can totally do this. But honestly, if you're trying to look up how to mix better on the internet, like, just keep it simple. What I use on every channel when I go digital, I use PSP Vintage Warmer. I use a preset called Tape Normal. It adds just a little bit of compression. Simulates the sound of tape.
See, I think you should save this for your mix video.
Fair enough. So we'll do that. The other thing I'm going to have coming is why I actually record to analog tape. A defense of the cassette.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my rant. So what's our final section? It's Everybody Gets a Trophy.
Yep.
And I love Everybody Gets a Trophy.
I know you love Everybody Gets a Trophy.
This is my favorite section. And nobody watches it because, I don't put it out as an individual clip.
Well, too bad for them.
I think I think we should give Chris Peterson a trophy because he actually watches these all the way through.
Go, Chris.
There you go, man. So I want to give you I'm going to give you the effort award.
The effort award.
You get the effort award. You put a lot of effort into the relativity thing.
Yes.
I think we could have done it better somehow. I just don't know how.
Yeah, we could have an educated audience, and so I could have drilled down. But, the whole point is I'm educating the audience, so, I am aware that our audience is not physics majors.
Right.
So, I'm trying to boil it down to the bare essentials, but basically we're talking about a lot of math.
Fair enough.
So.
Cool. What do I get? Uh-oh. You
get the least vitriolic rant award. I expect the way you were talking about it before, I expected way more vitriol in that rant.
I mean, I can open it up, but I'm just trying to keep it short and simple. I just want people to make good records.
Yeah.
And when you go in thinking, like, you got to put plugins on things before you even start, like, that's not how you make good records.
No.
I mean, that's how, like, in a pro situation, I could understand that. Like, I know this rig, I just need to crank it out.
Uh-huh.
Time is money. But
it's not going to apply to all rigs, so.
No. And to suggest putting things, keep mastering on its own thing. That's really what I was trying to get at. So always the audience gets the patience award.
For sitting through this whole thing.
You sat through the whole thing. Way to go. And on that note,